Friday, 10:05 a.m. The company's sleek auditorium buzzed with tension. News crews, analysts, and dozens of high-value clients filled the rows. CEO Patrick Lowe was known for being sharp, composed, and frankly ruthless. This launch had to go perfectly. It was supposed to prove that Nova could detect and neutralize cyber threats before they happened, all live, in real time. He stepped onto the stage, flashed a $1 million smile, and spoke into the mic. Today, Nova will change how we protect our future. He tapped a button. The screens blinked. Then static. System error. Code 643. Critical failure. Gasps echoed through the room. Patrick froze. He tapped the screen again. Nothing. Then the large wall monitor turned red. A siren echoed through the speakers. Nova had gone offline completely. The live stream cut off. Phones lit up with texts from investors. On the floor below, coders scrambled like ants in a storm. The CTO muttered about firewalls and backup nodes. But nothing was working. Patrick's jaw tightened. Years of reputation, billions in value, all unraveling in front of the world. And just as the CTO suggested a system-wide shutdown, a quiet voice spoke from behind them. It's not a crash, it's a recursive loop in the predictive model. They turned. It wasn't one of the engineers. It was a teenager, maybe 16, wearing a faded hoodie and holding a mop bucket. The room fell silent. Security stepped forward. Kid, you're not allowed. But Patrick held up his hand. What did you say? The boy stepped forward. Your system didn't crash. It's stuck predicting a future that loops back on itself, like a mirror looking into another mirror. The CTO blinked. That's absurd. But the boy walked past the suits, sat at the nearest console, and began typing. The engineers hesitated, then watched as line after line of code dance across the screen. 2 minutes later, the red error vanished. Nova restarted, and a clean green screen popped up. Status: fully operational. Threat neutralized. Applause broke out in the control room. On stage, the CEO stared in disbelief. Who the hell are you? The boy's name was Miles Carter. He was 17, and the son of the overnight cleaning lady Angela Carter, who had worked at Neuralink for 6 years. She often brought Miles during school holidays to keep an eye on him. No one paid him any mind. Just another janitor's kid, sitting quietly with a laptop in the break room. What they didn't know was that Miles had been watching and learning. While others played games or watched TikToks, Miles had spent years studying open source code bases and encryption models. He had read every white paper the company ever published. He even reverse engineered an older prototype of Nova based on leaked patents. All from the break room couch. Patrick didn't know whether to be furious or fascinated. Back in the boardroom, he grilled the boy. How did you even know how to fix that? Miles shrugged. I noticed a bug 2 weeks ago. I thought it might cause problems, so I wrote a patching case. You predicted a failure before our engineers? I just paid attention. Silence. Angela, red-faced, apologized. Sir, I didn't know he touched anything. I swear. But Patrick waved her off, then turned to Miles. How would you like an internship? The story spread like wildfire. Teen janitor saves $1 billion tech launch. Tech blogs picked it up, then national outlets. Neuralink stock recovered overnight and jumped 12% the following week. Patrick, ever the strategist, leaned into the story. Sometimes the brightest minds come from the most unexpected places. Miles became a symbol, not just of talent, but of undiscovered genius, overlooked simply because of where he came from. But it didn't stop there. A few weeks later, Miles gave an interview, and what he said made even more headlines. There are thousands of kids like me, brilliant, hungry, but invisible. He called out tech gatekeeping, how genius is often buried under poverty, race, or class. How many companies had janitors, cafeteria workers, or drivers whose kids could solve problems no one else even saw? If only someone gave them a chance. That clip went viral. Patrick, once a cold and calculating soul, found himself moved. He began asking questions, visiting departments he never cared to, meeting interns, security staff, night workers. He saw the quiet brilliance, the ideas waiting to be heard. Soon after, Neuralink launched a new initiative, Code Horizon, a paid program for underprivileged teens with a passion for tech. No degree required. And the first to lead it? Miles Carter. Now 18. No fancy college. Just a desk, a badge, and a growing team of kids just like him. 1 year later, Nova is running in Fortune 500 firms, hospitals, even government systems. Its code? Tighter, smarter, safer. And Miles? He still visits his mom during late shifts. Not as a tag-along kid, but as a department head. She still cleans floors. But when she walks through that building, people stand up because now they see her. They see him. And they see what happens when you stop looking at titles and start looking at talent. A system crashed, and a kid walked in with a solution no one saw coming. Not because he was trained, but because he cared enough to learn even when no one believed he should. Let that be a lesson. Genius isn't always in a suit. Sometimes it's in a hoodie behind a mop bucket, waiting for someone to listen.